Okay. So if you look at this picture, so this is the 7 chakras. So these 7 chakras, they exist. They exist in everyone. And these chakras, interestingly, these chakras are uh, also, they correspond to the 7 higher levels of the planetary systems. So if you see this picture here, so this is the 7 chakras we have, upper. So there is upper 7 chakras and lower 7 chakras. So within us, these energy points. Therefore, these energy points also correspond to the 7 chakras in the so the 7 upper planetary systems. So we can see here below there is where it says one universe. So where it says one universe, this is our universe actually. Welcome to Vibhu Sharma ji. So this is our universe. Now, welcome to Vibhu Sharma ji. So, so this universe that we see here, so in our body is a sample of the universe. So in our body is a sample of the entire universe is within our entire body. So there is all the chakras. Then there is
the universe. When you talk about the abodes in the universe, are we talking about Bhuvasvaha, that heavenly planets?
Yes, yes. So you see here, this is the spiritual world. Of course, it is not talking about this, but it is talking about this, the one universe that you see. So here there are, you see, this is the Earth planet here, and there are 7 planet systems above, including this, and then 7 below. So our chakras that are there, they begin, the Mooladhara chakra begins with the Earth, Bhuloka, the Earth planetary system. Then it goes to Bhuvarloka. So you can see that it is progressively, these chakras, they correspond to the different planets within our universe. So within our body is a mini universe. So what it is called as Yat Brahmande Tat Pindande. So whatever is there within the universe, our body has a sample of that. Yat Brahmande Tat Pindande. So Brahmanda means the universe, and whatever is there in the universe, the same sample is within our body. So the planetary effects, whatever come, they correspond to the different effects on the different chakras in our body. Therefore, these planetary systems that are there, they carry, like for example, the yogi, when he raises his energy from the Mooladhara, see there are different levels of consciousness with each chakra. So there is earth, water, fire, air, ether. And earth, water, fire, air, and three of them are ether. So these different planetary systems, so corresponding to how much you have raised your energy levels, a yogi takes birth in the different planets, upper planets of the universe. So in the upper planetary systems in the universe, the yogi actually takes birth according to how much he has raised his consciousness level. So if his consciousness level, for example, welcome to Vinny ji. Welcome Paras ji, Hare Krishna. So
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So these 7 chakras that are there, that we have, and because they correspond to the different levels of the universe, different planetary systems within our universe. So if you, for example, if you are at the Muladhara chakra, you are in the mode of, you can go lower also in your consciousness, because there are 7 chakras which are in the upper physical system, and there are 7 which are also in the lower planetary systems. So if you go lower, then you take birth in the hellish planets. You can see in this one universe. So there are upper 7 planetary systems and 7 lower planetary systems. So if your consciousness raises, then you go higher, upper planetary systems. If, however, you go lower, then you take birth in the lower planetary system. So Muladhara, basically you are earth, Bhuloka. Swadhisthana, you are going to Bhuvarloka. Manipura, Swahaloka. Janaloka, Tapaloka, Mahaloka and Satyaloka. So within your body, there is this mini universe. So our body is this mini universe. Just like in the universe, there is Narayana, who is the heart of the universe, who is lying down there. Similarly, the structure within the structure of the universe is also Narayana within the heart of the devotee. Anybody, the Lord Narayana is there, he is present within the heart. But a yogi realizes him, he is always present. So similarly here, all these chakras that we see, and the Lord within the heart. So this is, the body is actually a mini universe. Now to the degree, and each one corresponds to a certain level of consciousness. And if we raise our consciousness, then you get birth. For example, if you see the upper planetary systems, the 7 upper planetary systems, you will find that it is inhabited by the people living in the moon planet, Mars planet, all these different planets. So there are people. So Prabhupada said that some people say that there is nobody on the moon, you cannot see. Basically, you cannot see because we do not have the karma to see such bodies. Now they are very subtle compared to our body. Their elements are not as gross. Ether is more, they have more subtle body. Their body may have more ether to enjoy, to move fast. So as you go in the upper planetary systems here, the level of gross what do we call it, elements, that reduces, and very, very subtle elements, the subtle elements increase. So gross elements reduce and subtle elements increase. And as you can see, earth, then water. Then the second chakra is all about, the first chakra is earth dominant. The second chakra is water dominant. The third chakra is fire dominant. The fourth chakra in the heart, this is air dominant. And the fifth, sixth, seventh chakra is different degrees of ether. So depending on the level to which you have raised your energy, your spiritual energy, to that corresponding planet within the universe, you actually take birth. And by taking birth in different planet systems, again you get an opportunity to go higher. You can, when you go beyond there is also a planet called Siddhaloka. So this is Bhur Bhuva Swaha. So when you go beyond the Swahaloka, the third one, the fourth one, because these are basically Swargaloka planets, Bhur Bhuva Swaha. So there you get a chance to enjoy. But when you go higher than that, Jana Tapaloka. So Tapaloka, if you hear the name itself, Tapaloka means there is a lot of tapasvis there. And higher than that, meditation, all these different lokas that are present. These lokas, there is a wonderful bodies that you can get in all these different lokas. Brahma's body, for example, in the topmost loka, the Brahma loka, his body does not have earth, water, fire, air, ether. His body only has mind, intelligence, and ego. Very subtle. He doesn't have any gross element. And his body already has the Ashtasiddhis. So what is Ashtasiddhis? So Ashtasiddhis means the 8, in the yoga planetary system, there is 8 siddhis. So 8 siddhis are Anima, Lagima, Prapti, all these things. 8 siddhis. So Vashitva. So like this, there are 8 siddhis. Those in the higher lokas like Brahma and others, they already have these Ashtasiddhis. So they get these 8 perfections in their body automatically. So as you go higher in the planetary systems, the higher you go, the more siddhis you get, the more powers you get, the more superpowers you get. It's already there. So a yogi increases or raises his level of consciousness to such a platform, at least he goes to a very higher planetary system. Now, the highest that a yogi can go, if he does not become a devotee of Krishna, he could go to Brahmaloka. But beyond that, if he becomes a devotee of Krishna, then he can go to the Vaikuntha Loka, as we can see here. So ultimately, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yogi nama pisharvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yoma same yukta tame mataha. That Krishna explains that of all the yogis, I am the topmost yogi is the one who always thinks of me and meditates in me. So the yogi who meditates on Ishvara, Paramatma within the heart, if he realizes he is not different from Krishna and he meditates on this Paramatma as Krishna himself, then definitely he goes back to the spiritual world directly, because he realizes that he is Krishna. So when you realize that he is Krishna, so that is the consciousness that a yogi needs to have. But to become a devotee of Krishna, to become a pure devotee of Krishna, as per the Bhagavatam, one needs to be liberated. One needs to be liberated means he needs to have transcended these levels of consciousness. He has to be on a completely spiritual platform to be a pure devotee. So even in the Yoga Sutras, it is explained that this chain, this hierarchy of chakra ascension, this hierarchy of going to the planetary systems, higher planetary systems, or one who has to work hard to raise himself in these chakras, there is only one exception. And the only exception, the one and only exception, is that he should be a surrendered soul to Krishna. So when he becomes a surrendered soul to Krishna, then such a soul definitely goes back to the spiritual world. Or he doesn't need the perfections of yoga to actually go something higher. So that is important to note here. So these elements within these chakras, for example, if you attain power by meditating on these chakras, I can myself say, there's a documentary called Healing, in which one person, he had a broken rib and he could not sit on his he could not walk, he could not stand up. And he mentions that 3 hours every day he meditated on the rib which was broken. And within 15 days, he saw something click and he could walk. So that was something amazing. So this is in The Power of Healing. It's on Netflix. You can watch it. It's amazing. It explores the subtle energy levels. And here we can see that, so similarly, here we can see that if we meditate on these chakras intensely, then the chakra becomes activated. The corresponding element, it gives the power. It releases the corresponding element. In that, it releases its power. So what is the power? For example, if you meditate on the earth element, the Mooladhara chakra, then earth means heaviness. You become very light. One gets the ability to levitate, float, if you attain siddhi with these chakras. So second is Swadhisthana. So if you meditate on the water element, then you won't sink in the water. You can walk on the water. You will never sink. You will never drown. So similarly in Manipura chakra, so fire, you become resistant to fire. Anahata chakra, you control the air element. So you completely control the thoughts. You become siddha. You are able to hold your thoughts. And the ether element, then you go deeper within into the realm of sound, because the soul resides in the realm of sound. And that is why the soul can be woken up by mantra, by chanting the Krishna mantra. That is very, very important. Okay, so this is the introduction slide. So any questions or comments so far? Is everybody able to follow this?
Prabhuji, Krishna says that if we do a sadhana to a level and our body drops, the sadhana continues in the next life, right? In
Yes.
Gita.
Yes.
So, is this transitions from higher planet is according to the progress we make, or we have to come back to Earth to make that progress? Is there anything mentioned about it?
So basically, what happens is that depending on your knowledge, you can aim for higher planetary systems. For example, those who are already in the Siddhaloka, for example, now they can already see Brahma. They can see higher planetary people.
Okay.
So once they have that knowledge, then they meditate and they go to those higher planets. They don't have to take birth like us. So they can, by the power of tapasya, they can transfer themselves to the higher, by proper this thing, they can transfer from that to the higher planets. Of course, there is some qualification required. But a yogi can go from his planetary system to the next planetary system, higher planetary system. So if the Swarga itself, they can travel far and higher. And the other bodies, the Siddhaloka, for example, they can walk on the beams of the sun in Siddhaloka. They have such subtle and powerful bodies. So definitely they have access to the higher realms, to the higher knowledge level. So again, once again, this is also although they have that knowledge, so that there are two things. They also have such higher levels of enjoyments also. So the biggest danger in the higher planetary systems is that your levels of enjoyment are so high and so unlimited, so to speak. And when you become completely absorbed in such enjoyment, that is the chance he can fall down. But
Why
if
I'm asking is, Prabhuji, because some Mahatmas, they keep telling us, saying that bhakti is possible only in human form. Even the demigods ask for a human life to get bhakti, because that is the only from being a bhakta in this human form can we reach the abode of Krishna. Because I don't remember giving they quoting on any sloka from anywhere, but I very much remember people saying, talking about it. You know how sacred human life is in that context.
definitely in human earth planet, it is said it is greater than Vaikuntha. It is said the earth planet is even greater than Vaikuntha in one sense. Because the Lord personally descended here. So the Lord personally descended here, and the Lord, so there is a lot of holy tirthas. Now, only problem with the so, but in the heavenly planets also there are pure devotees. Like Brahma is a pure devotee. Yamaraj is a pure devotee. Of course, he is in the hellish side. But Lord Shiva is a pure devotee. So similarly, Narada is a pure devotee. And then we have, talking about pure devotees, we have Vayu. So Vayu is a pure devotee of the Lord. There is
Yeah.
Vayu Stuti, Hanuman is a pure devotee. So it is not that there is, in Swargaloka, there is no opportunity to become spiritually elevated. In the Swargaloka also there is an opportunity, but also at the same time in Swargaloka, there is an opportunity to enjoy. There is a very, very powerful opportunity to enjoy. And because there is this powerful opportunity to enjoy, in the Swargaloka, that creates a barrier. So when you are focused on enjoying, so the yogi, what happens is, like I told yesterday, you need two things. One is practice and detachment. Now, for example, here yogi, he attains siddhi of Muladhara chakra, or he attains Swadhisthana chakra. So he can float on water, he can do this, he can do that. Now, suppose he misuses it and he terrorizes people, walks on the water, terrorizes people, and does different things, then definitely there is a fall down. So when you misuse the power, so then there is a fall down. So even when you go to Swargaloka, if you exhaust your punya, then you fall down, which is a very highly likely possibility, because the very fact that you are born in the Swargaloka is because your samskaras or your desires are not fully clear. When your desires are not fully cleared, that means even if there is an opportunity for that, and for example, it is said that the women in Swargaloka, if you compare the women on the earth planet, the women in Swargaloka are far beautiful. We cannot even imagine how beautiful they are compared to the women on the planet earth. So same thing about men also. But especially the heavenly apsaras, they are so beautiful. You cannot even compare. Now, when such an level of intoxication and enjoyment is present, yes, it is difficult for the yogi to restrain himself. He will always think, oh, let me enjoy now, later on I'll do sadhana. No, earth planet is very conducive, because here there is not so much opportunity to enjoy as much is present in the, it's like I can have, see, when you are in college, it's like being in college. So you have an opportunity to study, yet the same time you are young, and today boys and girls are free mixing. So there is opportunity for both. So, but if you are in a secure ashram, so it is like that. So you have an opportunity even when you are in Swargaloka to progress. A yogi can progress. That's why there is these levels. He can definitely progress. But because the levels of enjoyment, they are very strong there. These the levels of enjoyment are far subtle and stronger. Therefore, only very few can really make higher progress. So therefore, when the only reason they want to come to the earth planet is because the Lord descends directly here. Lord has descended, the Lord has done this wonderful leelas, there are leelas thalis and everything. So they want to take birth and just do devotion, pure devotion here. But that is, again, it's definitely earth is the planet. And second thing is, it is shorter to take birth in the earthly planet. It is shorter life compared to the Swargaloka. It's a shorter life, faster opportunity to grow spiritually. So, that's how it goes. I hope that answers your question.
Wonderful. Yes, very convincing.
Hare Krishna. So we'll go to the next slide. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about in the inner universe is the Kanda. So Kanda means near your lower abdomen. So near your lower abdomen, there is near the Muladhara chakra, just above the Muladhara chakra. You see here, there is an arrow mark here, right? So there is something called as Kanda. So all your Nadis, so this next section is on the Nadis. So all your Nadis, they grow from the just below or just above your Muladhara chakra. So this is where the nadis are. All your nerves are in the lower abdomen. So it is said that those who are celibate, then these nadis become very purified, and that energy spreads all over your body. However, those who do not practice celibacy, those who eat too much, those who do not control their senses, all these nadis, they are emanating from this kanda. So when the lower part of the body is dirty or being misused, then the energy that spreads throughout the body is not pure energy. So in the Shiva Samhita and many yogic scriptures, it says there are 72,000 nadis. In the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it says 350,000. But 72,000 is a general number. So what do these nadis carry? So these nadis carry, so there are gross nadis and there are subtle nadis. So gross nadis carry blood, all this stuff. The subtle nadis carry air, vayu. Now you can see that just like in the gross nadi, you can have fat. So when your heart, that they do a bypass surgery because your nadi in the heart, it has too much fat. So when there is too much fat in the nadi, you need to cut open the nadi. You have to clean it, or you have to suck the fat out of it, or do a bypass, you kind of. So similarly, in the subtle body, so what we see and do, that is filled up in your subtle body. So for example, I sit to meditate, all that I have seen, heard, and whatever is disturbing me, all that comes up because this gets stored in the subtle nadis. So this gets stored in the subtle nadis. So when this gets stored in the subtle nadis, so that is why the Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, of purifiers I am the wind. Of purifiers I am the wind. So he calls it purifiers I am the wind. Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, actually. So Nadi Shodhana Pranayama means within your Nadi, there is all these impure thoughts. And these are thoughts not just from this life. The kind of subtle body you develop. So in the next life, when you are born, you have a certain personality, you have a certain character. So all these impressions, what we call samskaras, so the mind, your mind develops into a body which corresponds to the thoughts that you have. So that is why they say, Prabhupada was saying, when he saw everybody surfing in Hawaii, he said, okay, next life they will become fish. Or you desire to fly all the time, then you become a bird. Because if you desire to. So the subtle body and the gross body are changed accordingly. So a yogi means he tries to clean. So clean food, pure food, that doesn't remain in the body, right? You eat meat or you eat some rajasic food, too spicy, too hot, too heavy. Even this soy, for example, this soy which people eat, very tasty to eat. But soy is nothing but, it's a lot of chemicals. Heavy chemicals, all put together. And what it does, it slows down your digestion. It makes you heavy. Your Muladhara chakra, your nervous system is pulled down. So the more you are constipated, the more you do not take care of your eating, there is no purification at all. So the lower abdomen is the key. This is where it is said, if you do not take care of your, a yogi does not take care of the lower abdomen, the nadi portion, then he cannot come to sattva guna because it is very heavy. So exercise, pranayam especially, doing pranayam, focus pranayam is very much relaxing. So I've realized also that the thought that we have, the stronger our stomach is, the stronger our lower abdomen is, that much level your head is, because the pressure in your lower abdomen also corresponds to the pressure in the head. So the pressure at the lower abdomen also corresponds to the pressure in the head. So this, when this is there, this nervous system, so this is like, so yogi wants to go higher, so his lower abdomen has to be strong, his nerves has to be strong. And from there is where the energy then flows throughout the body. So this kanda, the 72,000 nadis, so therefore sitting in siddhasana, sitting in vajrasana, so all these asanas, so they purify. Vajrasana means it purifies the vajra nadi. So vajra nadi is directly there, connects to the kanda. So all the nadis come from kanda, from the stomach. So eventually when you do strong exercise, eventually they say do your core, because the core is where all the nadis come from. And if these nadis are strong, see, even diabetes, everything, it is all because of the imbalance of air in the lower abdominal system. Of course, it's curable to a certain degree, especially type 2. So similarly, anxiety-related problems, that is all related to the, once again, the nadis in the lower abdomen. So everything begins with proper food, control of proper food. So if we are able to control the food, then that takes care of 60% of our problem. So this is very important. So corresponding to that, after that, you can see here in this picture the most important nadis. Okay, we have a question. Can you talk a little more about anxiety, fear, and kanda? Okay, so basically, you can see that what is anxiety? So coming to the Yoga Sutra, he explains 5 things, which he calls as klesha. So klesha means avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, kleshaha. So avidya means lack of spiritual understanding. So we may know Krishna is God, yet we could commit some mistakes. We may know we are spirit soul, yet we may not act on that platform. So it is said, as long as you do not act on that platform, we will have something called as abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means there is a strong attachment to our present body, strong attachment to our present condition. For example, you are a devotee of Krishna. I can give you an example of in Egypt. In Egypt, this is what I heard. It's a nice story to explain though. There was a mountain, and in that and there was a lot of Christians in that mountain. And what happened was, in that mountain, these it was said that there was some jihadi, they were attacking and they were killing people from below the mountain and they were going all the way up. So there was a fight going on. Anyway, it's not about Christianity and Islam, it was what was happening there. And as they went up, killing all these pastors, at the top of that mountain was the last church. And he was a pastor with a very good consciousness. And he was praying, just like Jesus, he was praying to the Lord, "Oh Lord, give me the strength to forgive them when they come to slit my throat, to forgive them, for they know not what they are doing." So he had full confidence. Similarly, another example is the Sri Rangam temple. So in Sri Rangam, once there was a Muslim king, attacker who came to destroy the Brahmanas in Sri Rangam. So when he came to destroy Sri Rangam, when he attacked Sri Rangam, the Brahmanas from that temple, the priests, they were thinking what to do, what to hide or not to hide. But they were inspired by their leader who came out and said, simply chant the name of the Lord. So the Sri Vaishnavas, they read something called as Divya Prabandham, which is like Nalayara Divya Prabandham. So that is like the Bhagavatam for them. So when they came to read this Nalayara Divya Prabandham, they came out of the temple and they stood in line. All were chanting Nalayara Divya Prabandham, because in that it is said, it is like Bhagavatam. It is all as good as chanting the name of the Lord. So if we die chanting this, we are going back to Vaikuntha. So he is fearless. This is a very difficult situation where you just stand and, many of them were killed. But they had such faith and confidence. So basically what happens is avidya means lack of spiritual connection within oneself. We may know we are soul, we may know we are spirit souls, we are not this body and everything. Yet, if we are not in vidya, either that knowledge, spiritual realization, either the knowledge or realization, both, either of them is not dominant, then there is a natural feeling within a person. This is a natural thing, means this is inbuilt in the human body. This is inbuilt in not just humans, but every species. You go to throw a stone at a dog, even the dog starts running. Fear, attachment to that body is even for the dog. The dog doesn't think, oh, if this human kills me, then he gets bad karma, I get a better life, something like that. No, he is fearful of his body. He doesn't even think. He is completely in ignorance. So similarly, to the degree we are in avidya, this lack of spiritual knowledge, understanding and connection and practice. So Patanjali explains, to that degree we are affected by ego, to that degree we are affected by raga, attachment, to that degree we are affected by dvesha. Dvesha is aversion, abhinivesha. So abhinivesha is the strong attachment. So even if you are a yogi, until you have that realization, so this attachment causes anxiety. So basically, yogi means he has to calm down. Sometimes we think becoming aggressive, but you cannot, that's at the last moment. But becoming aggressive, being aggressive is not the spiritual answer. One has to go within, one has to calm down, one has to become peaceful. That is the answer. So to overcome anxiety, one has to go deep. So one's practices have to be deep, beginning with food. For example, if you are in Rajoguna, then anxiety, anger is like a common situation. So when you eat heavy foods, when you eat Rajasic and Tamasic foods, but if you take Sattvic foods, spiritual foods, and that is more or less I'm doing now. Last 2 days I have been fasting just on the chia seed juices from our book. And I hope to do this for a month, because when you fast, when you calm down, and it's not just fasting, but you really see how much less you know. You really meditate on your soul. You take out time, you breathe deeply, and when you fast, when you're in good health, and you breathe deeply, and you meditate, you see a very powerful effect. And gradually, you can see later on, Patanjali will explain that when you inculcate good qualities, especially when you give up aparigraha. So aparigraha means, parigraha means I want something that others have. I'm always thinking he's not liking my post, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. So I'm always thinking all these things, you know. So when I think all these things, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's this, he's that. So this anxiety, this feeling, all these things that we see, these things develop. But the moment one develops knowledge, one becomes detached. All this anxiety goes away. So knowledge is the first thing. So Patanjali combines that with purification. So karma yoga means, in the karma yoga, in the Bhagavad Gita, karma yoga is the purification of the senses. That leads to jnana, knowledge, and that leads to dhyana. So if I want to do dhyana, I should have jnana, knowledge. So dhyana means deep meditation. Not to go deep, I have to give up all the anxiety from outside. I have to be completely free from all outside anxiety. That should be my goal. And that is what exactly is being explained in the Yoga Sutras, how to go deep within by the process of purification. So we should, so it's a gradual process, and it begins with the food and everything. And when you do that, you will find a very powerful result. And yoga is not just to remove temporary anxiety, but to remove anxiety from the root. To purify all our samskaras and to purify everything from the root. That is the goal of yoga. I hope that answers your question, Mataji.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes.
So, Prabhu, the nadis are equal to, in like Western medical system, they are blood vessels, nerves, or?
Like I said, there are both types, gross and subtle. So gross nadis are dealing with the physical nerves. Okay. Subtle nadis are dealing with the airways, the air passage. They are subtle.
Okay.
Just like your mind.
Okay.
So your mind is subtle. So the nerves which connect from the mind, through which the airs, everything pass, the thoughts, this is very subtle. How the mind connects to the physical body, that is prana, the subtle nerve.
Okay.
So these nadis, what we are talking about, Sushumna nadi, this nadi, that nadi, you cannot see.
Yes.
Yeah. So for example, here, this picture, you see, these are all the nadis. You cannot see any of that. But they are there. So these are the important nadis.
Where is Vajra Nadi you talked about?
Vajra Nadi is behind Mataji. It's not seen in the front. So Vajra Nadi is actually, it is around the buttock area. So when you do Vajrasana, right, you sit with your heels to the buttocks. So Vajra Nadi, okay. You see here, I can explain to you even better. So there is this two, you see, next to the every chakra, there is this Ida Pingala Nadi.
They are Ida Pingala?
Yeah, Ida Pingala. So Ida Pingala are actually sitting in the Vajra Nadi.
Oh. Okay.
So there is a bigger Nadi within which there is this Ida and Pingala.
And is it like Vajrasana also, and even Padmasana is also is recommended many times. Padmasana or Vajrasana
Asana is the best asana
meditation.
for pranayama. Yes. Because by Padmasana, what happens is when you do Padmasana, the lower nadis, especially the kanda, that nadi, that nadi that is there, the kanda, that is sufficiently squeezed properly in the Padmasana. And the lower areas, actually your lower abdomen, the smaller it is, the more squeezed it is better. Ideal body for a yogi is called as Simhakati. So Simhakati means like a lion's body. So if you see a lion's body, he has a big chest and a small abdomen. Small abdomen. Like when a lion stands up like this, so you see his waist is very small. A big waist is a big waist. So WAIST is a big WAST. So you should have a really small waist. So that is a sign that you are, usually people today say so that the waist should be like this, very thin, Now the waist is like this. So that's the problem. So when you sit in Padmasana, especially your waist should be strong. So that's important. Yeah. Okay. So I hope that's fine. Yeah. So
Music works on those subtle nadis, Prabhuji.
What is that?
Because music, they say music is also way of salvation and self-realization. As one of the paths they suggest music. So music works on those subtler nadis because that's all.
Mantra. I hope you are talking about mantra. Music means mantra.
Talking about classical music. They say classical music, especially the swaras, the 7 swaras, practicing of those swaras. They say purifies the nadis.
Well, they call it Swara Yoga. Definitely, when you blow, what do you call that? Flute. Flute, you say this morning raga. So that definitely energizes the chakra. That is definitely there. But ultimately, one has to do japa. And Patanjali explains that ultimately, see, they come to calm you down. They come to calm you down. Just like we all chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day. But along with that, we should eat also to keep our body and soul together. So when we keep our body and soul together, if we have to keep, then we have to eat also to keep the body healthy and together. And here the same thing when you talk about music and everything. So the mind, see, the idea is like this. So the mind has different disturbing sounds which are released in the mind all the time, right? According to our level of frustration. So music, what it does, it overcomes those sounds. Many a times we don't need it. Every morning we have to hear all this news, this, that. So many a times, sometimes it's like addiction. Mind just remembers some crazy things all the time. So the music overcomes that sound. So as long as the mind can shift its focus from whatever sound it is in to the higher sounds. And then it goes to the sattvic platform because there are these soothing music. So the mind calms down. It eliminates. Actually, 99% of thoughts we have, we don't need. Correct? We don't need. We don't control anything. But as long as we think we control, we have to take revenge, we have to do this, we have to fulfill our goal of life, this, that, future anxiety. All these thoughts, they fill up the mind. Even if I want to sit and meditate on something continuously, I'm not able to. So if you really want to get to that point, then all these things are beneficial. Not only this, even natural sounds. For example, you go sit by the river and there is a soothing flow of water. That sound is also good. You hear birds singing. That sound is also good. All these sounds are definitely soothing and beneficial, and they calm the mind, they attract the mind to these higher sounds. Okay. So here we are seeing the important nadis that come from each chakra. So what happens basically is, for example, there is Payashwini, Saraswati, Amrita, Srivati, Sita, Shiva, Matrika. So what happens is each chakra connected with these nadis. So these nadis are connecting to certain parts in our body. So when the chakras are disturbed, they send a negative energy. And then what happens is they send a negative energy and the corresponding organs are disturbed. However, when the chakras are purified, then the chakra releases its pure energy, then it affects the different parts of the body. Your body goes into sattva guna. So these connections with the different chakras of these nadis, so these chakras have corresponding powerful energy. For example, when the Manipura chakra releases energy, it goes to all the digestive organs. Ittika, Yuttika, Shukra. Shukra means the, semen. So it's converted into higher forms of energy. When the heart chakra is, so it releases Amrita, so similarly when the throat chakra, so there are different energy points in the body, and they connect. Each chakra connects to, and there are 72,000, like you said. What they are showing here is the important ones. And the important ones, if we learn very, very clearly this slide, so then later on it becomes easy to understand them. When you practice yoga, then you know which nadi you are dealing with, which health problem you have, which nadi you are dealing with, how you can overcome that issue. So that is the focus. That is the focus of. So this book, the Yoga Sutras, explains the principles, and the next book I'm writing is this Chakras and Nadis. So in that we deal very deeply and clearly with these aspects. Okay, let me go to the next next point here. So one moment. Okay, here. Now, for example, in our brain area, so these are the important nadis. So there is the olfactory nerve, optic nerve, pituitary gland, you can see. Now here it explains all the nadis eventually go to the brain. So you can see Samraja Mataji, you see Vajrini nadi here?
Yes.
So it comes here. So it comes all the way to your buttock. So most of the nadi, so that is why it is said that so all the energy eventually relates to different parts in the brain. So your entire body is replicated in your hands, your entire body is replicated in your legs, your entire body is replicated in your mind, your entire body is also replicated in your brain. So it is replicated everywhere, and we can see that here also all the organs, so all the nadis, all the energy systems, they come back up here. And the important nadis connect here. So that is why keeping your brain strong, practicing celibacy, eating proper food, not becoming too angry, because any brain damage also damages the nadis also. So these are some important points about our inner universe. So the important nadi, the most important nadi, of course, is the Shushumna nadi. We see here. There is the Vajrini nadi and Shushumna nadi, Chitrini nadi. So they are all there. Brahma nadi, Ida, Pingala. They are all in the central zone. The most important is the Shushumna nadi, from which the Kundalini is supposed to raise. And once the Kundalini raises, so that activates the different chakras along the way and releases the different energies of the different elements, and definitely it helps in that way. So yeah, so these are the main points I wanted to deal. So here we see, if you keep your face, head clear, then all the organs are also strong within the body. It's a very deep connection. Okay, so far, any questions, comments on this?
The pineal gland, the name we give it is Shivanadi and Vishnunadi. Is it or is it?
Pineal gland is the one that connects here. They say that connects to the the Ajna chakra. So intuitive knowledge is given by the pineal gland. So pineal gland is very important for meditation, activation of pineal gland. That's what they do in Shambhavi Mudra. So it's very important. So when the meditation on the Ajna chakra is there, then the pineal gland is very activated, very powerfully.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Is there any history like who identified all these like nadis, chakras?
See, this is once again, just like Bhagavad Gita, this is an eternal science. There is history. History-wise, these are given in Vedas also. There is a lot of description in the Vedas, and there is also Shiva. Lord Shiva actually writes in the Shiva Samhita. So all this knowledge, this was there in Ayurveda also. All the nadis and jadibutis relating to each nadi, all these things are there in Ayurveda also. So Dhanvantari also, it is there in Ayurveda. It is there. It is there in also Marma Chikitsa, which is also an offshoot from Ayurveda. So Marma Chikitsa means where you touch these nerves and you activate different energy points. Unfortunately, British killed many of them. There are very few left today. So, in the Ayurvedic texts, Vedic texts, Ayurvedic texts, Marma texts, and Lord Shiva, different yogic texts, so they have definitely explained all of these in very much detail. I hope that answers. So, all right. So, any other questions, comments? Okay. So, if not, we will start our 15-minute Yoga Nidra. And
the is totally on this nadis and what is the purpose of each nadi, what they signify. Is that all about?
What is it, Madhuri?
You said you are going to come up with another book exclusively on nadis.
Yeah, Nadi and Chakra.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that is after this Yoga Sutra book, that is the next plan. So let's see. So because Chakras requires its own books, the way Chakras work and everything, you know.
And how do you reconcile this with the Bhakti Yoga? I mean, because ultimately you said that you are going to reconcile this with Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So this knowledge about Nadis and all.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bhagavatic life of chanting
So basically,
and all.
if you read the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali says Samadhi Siddhir Ishvara Pranidhana. But there is two things here. One is the spiritual side, one is the material side. Material side means a Brahmana is supposed to know as a trade. See, some people take up, they are nice devotees, but they are software engineers or doctors or different things, right? So people take up different trades, yet they can be devotees. They are doing karma yoga. But when you are doing yoga as an occupation, when you are trying to study as a Brahminical activity, and for a Varnashrama system, for a spiritual system, and for the future generation, if you want, see today, why did so many people die because of this corona? Immunity.
Yes.
Because with weak immunity, they suffered. And why do people have weak immunity? Is because of the food and lifestyle. Now, until and unless you give a strong solution, until and unless you give like a powerful healing and you can really share, that is what most of these yogis who came to America, they were very proficient in their practice. And people could immediately feel the benefit of the practice just by being close to them. That was the level of energy that they had. And until and unless we practice, understand, study and practice, may not be for everybody, but at least I feel inspired to study. So there is a big millions of yogis out there who are practicing yoga. There is very little understanding of these spiritual terms. There is so much knowledge, but not very clear. So to systematize it and present it to the present age so that everybody can take benefit, ultimately that is the goal.
Yeah, it is really giving a different perspective.
Yeah. So that is the thing. So eventually, yes, we are everything. If you see, every knowledge connects back to Krishna. Even in the Bhagavatam, there is so much detailed knowledge. But we need to do a little research in that, then you will get it. All right. So any other quick questions, comments? Everybody is able to understand today's class? Then
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, are you uploading this lecture somewhere?
This I recorded. After you say, then I promptly remember, thanks to you. Yesterday's class also, I guess I uploaded. I was doing too many things with the book, so
Yeah, actually, I need to listen yesterday's class.
yeah. So I uploaded. I'll upload this by tonight, hopefully.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start our yoga.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, where can I listen to the classes which I missed?
This class it's all on YouTube, Mataji. If you can subscribe to my channel, Gaur Natraj. I can. Are you on Facebook with me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just I'll message you on Messenger. So I'm uploading all these things on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page also, but not all the lectures on the Facebook page. But I'm definitely uploading it on my YouTube channel. So because YouTube you can search easier, right? So that's how. Yeah. All right. So
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
so Let's start with the Yoga Nidra now. So like we are doing every day. So today we will meditate on this chakras, as we can see. So first, let us do deep breathing. Continuously focus on deep breathing.
Prabhu in Padmasana?
Yes, if you can sit in Padmasana, that is good. If not, sit with your back straight. If you want, you can lie down also. Focus on deep breathing. Inhale and exhale deeply. Meditate on the breathing in your throat. Focus in the breathing speed, on the breathing sound within the throat. Inhale and exhale deeply. Now gradually focus completely on your breath. Relax your shoulders. Focus on the different parts of the body as I name them. Keeping your breathing deeper, calm. Meditate on all your toes. Feel your toes relaxing. Soles of the feet. Ankles. Heels. Calf. Knees. Thighs. Buttocks. Hold your hands with the forefinger and thumb just touching each other. Palms, back of the palms, wrists, forearms. If you just touch your forefinger and thumb, you'll feel your pulse. Elbows, biceps, triceps. Relax your shoulder. Go to your lower abdomen, belly, upper abdomen, chest, neck, chin, cheeks, lips, nose, eyes, eyebrows, forehead, temples, top of the head, back of the head, your entire back touching the ground, or your entire back straight, your legs touching the ground. Deeply breathe. Focus on your throat. Feel your throat relaxing. And the entire body from the shoulders all the way, completely relaxed. Continue the pace of deep breathing. Keep a mental picture of yourself. Imagine yourself sitting in this position, deep breathing. Your breathing is getting deeper, calmer. Inhale and exhale deeply. Relax completely. Now gradually meditate on the Mooladhara chakra just above your perineum, next to the sexual organ. This is the energy of element earth. Earth is what holds the earth planet together. Earth is what holds your body together. Your entire body is the earth element. Praying to Mother Earth, may the elements, Bhuta Shuddhi, may the elements get purified. May the heaviness lighten. May there be calmness in the body. Now gradually meditate on the Swadhisthana chakra, orangish in color, just around the navel area. Wow. This is the water element. May the flow of water, blood, all the chemicals, may they be calm, soothing, without any turbulence in your body. May there be calmness. May the water element calm down. Meditate on the navel chakra, the Manipura chakra, golden in color. Imagine a very beautiful golden light in the body, the digestive fire digesting the stomach as well as in your heart. Now gradually meditate on the heart region, the air, the communication. Heart is the region of the soul, the mind, the prana. May there be purification of this prana, of this air. Let there be peace in this heart region. Let the communication within your body, with outside, with the universe be calm. May the universe give you calming energy. May the universal air purify. You meditate on your throat. The seat of Udanavayu, hunger and thirst. May there be calmness in your throat. May there be a development of calmness in your brain tissues, connecting the whole body. Let this health flow. Meditate on the Ajna chakra in the middle of the eyebrows. May there be the energy of Om, of Ishvara, the intuitive, powerful energy. Energize your entire existence. Also, activate the pineal gland. Gradually meditate on the Sahasrara chakra on the top of the head, where the chakra is the color of millions of jewels. May there be energy from the universe flow unto you. Feel the energy flowing from the top of the head into your entire body. All by the grace of Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, sitting in your heart as Paramatma, next to the soul. May He always provide bliss to the soul. Feel the golden effulgence in your heart, all your energy coming down. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Fully rejuvenated with all the blessings from the universe and the universe within you, fully energized, strong, with being fully grateful to the Supreme Soul within your heart, energizing the Super Soul, the soul within your heart. Now gradually open your eyes, relax fully, feel a new enthusiasm, a new rejuvenation in your whole body. And we hope this enthusiasm continues. And please join me again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a special class by my wife. So she will be doing a special short yoga and a yoga nidra session. That's only tomorrow, Friday. I will continue Saturday, Sunday, but tomorrow is a special session by her. So please join her tomorrow. All of you have been joining me every day, so just join her. And she's presenting. She has done a lot of research on different simple poses and a deeper yoga nidra. So that will be tomorrow. So please join tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Same time, same session.
Same time, same session. And Saturday I will continuing with Saturday. So only on Fridays she will do. All right. So it's time to. I have a meeting at 8 tomorrow, so won't be able to join. It's okay. We'll record it, and hopefully day after tomorrow you can. All right. Yeah. So time to thank you, all of you. Thank you for joining. And a nice
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
on the camera. And hopefully see you all tomorrow. And join me again on Saturday. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.